Cheers, I do, buckaroos, and how the heck are you? I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer. At this particular moment in time, hey, I've got a new one here. Heaven's Door. Let me read just a little bit. A unique mash bill from Tennessee. It's a Tennessee bourbon. Our bourbon utilizes 30% small grains to complement the character imparted from spending a minimum of 8 years in American oak. On the bottle, it said a minimum of 7. But for an 8-year-old bourbon, damn. Anyway, the result is smooth, lasting notes of vanilla, baked bread layered over a bed of toasted oak. This was done in a collaboration with Bob Dylan, which is why it has the name Heaven's Door. It is a 90 proof bourbon, so I'm going to set that down and pick up the whiskey. Oh, gosh. Let me look at their tasting notes. They said to look for, one more time, smooth, long-lasting tasting notes of vanilla, baked bread layered over a bed of toasted oak. Certainly get a lot of vanilla. I'm going to add a lot of toffee notes as well. You may pick out some fine fruit notes in there as well. Get some dark fruits as well as some stone fruit in there. Also feel like I'm getting just a hint of apple. That could be just me though. I'm going to add some baking spices certainly on the nose as well. A remarkably easy to drink, a 90 proof bourbon. It's freaking brilliant. Now they say specifically vanilla and baked bread layered over a bed of toasted oak. Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. I'm just going to take it a step further, put a slightly finer point on it. I get these notes of baking spice and raisin along with that toasted oak. So it does, although you feel toasted oak or baked bread layered over toasted oak, I'm going to put a finer point on it and say it feels like Irish soda bread. You know, it feels like that Irish soda. This is a flavor I'm very familiar with. Being an Irish American, man. Anyway, yeah, that's what I'm feeling, because I do feel these very dark raisin notes. Again, with that baking spice, you get that toasted oak. Where they say layered over bread, I'm going to say layered over, or bread layered over toasted oak. I'm going to say soda bread, Irish soda bread, specifically. A lot of vanilla. I mean, a lot of sweet cream vanilla is what you get right throughout. That toasted oak starts at the beginning and grows and comes to a crescendo right at the finish. And I mentioned baking spice on the nose, and you feel some minor spice notes all the way through it, but you really feel that bulk of it again right at the end with the toasted oak. And where many whiskeys, bourbon especially, I really feel an abundance of cinnamon, here you do feel more of that combined baking spice. It's not just cinnamon. There are some other elements, some allspice. You might find some ginger, some nutmeg, that sort of thing going on as well, without any one of those spices taking over the other one. Get a slight lingering light brown sugar sweetness, just a hint of molasses there. Definitely some warm vanilla sugar notes going on, man. Have some, I keep vanilla sugar in the cabinet. That's kind of what I'm feeling, man. Anyway, it's good. It's damn tasty. I picked it up. It's not cheap by any stretch, but again, for an 8-year-old bourbon, it's not bad. It's been running in my neck of the woods for about 50. And I just wasn't able to pull the trigger on that. Now I found it marked down to 46, 45.90, so 45.96, something like that. We're going to round up to 46. One of my favorite 90 proof bourbons right now is Tomstown Pendergast Royal Gold. It's a 90 proof, and it runs about 50. So I thought, well, you know what? For that same price point, I'm going to give it a shot. That's why I picked it up at 46. So once I used that, reasoning on myself, I went ahead and gave it a try. And quite frankly, it's worth every penny. It's damn tasty. They had a double barrel. They do a 10-year-old bourbon apparently, but the store didn't have that. They had a double barrel whiskey, which is a blend of 3 different whiskeys. Their website says that's a 100 proof whiskey. Ran the same price, and I thought about trying that for the higher proof, but I really wanted to try the bourbon. I wanted to have a bourbon, so this is what I got here: a Tennessee bourbon, if you will. Some folks are under the misconception that bourbon has to be distilled in Kentucky. No, that's not true. It just has to have a minimum of 51% corn. And I believe it has to be aged for a minimum of 3 years. Maybe it's 2. Who can remember? Anyway, I digress. Heaven's Door. Hey, who knew Bob Dylan was a bourbon drinker? I didn't. If he isn't, well, hey, I appreciate him putting a stamp on some whiskey. Being an old Bob Dylan fan, yeah, I go way back. My friends thought I was nuts. He can't sing. Tell him, well, I know he can't sing, but the man's brilliant. Listen to these lyrics. And that's the problem with music today. It's about how somebody looks and how they sound, rather than the content or the quality of their music. And that really bothers me, because a Bob Dylan isn't going to be signed today. We're not going to get artists the quality of a Bob Dylan. No one has the guts to write that kind of music anymore. Nobody will sign somebody that looks and sounds like a Bob Dylan did now. There are other artists that certainly fit the bill from way back when, and it's sad that this is what music has been reduced to, but there you go. Kind of wanted to be a lyricist at one point in my young life, and my big influences, lyric-wise, was Bob Dylan and then Justin Hayward for the Moody Blues. Those were the 2 guys my early stuff was kind of patterned after. So I was a very serious kid, man. And I turned into this. Who knew? Heaven's Door. I tell you what this makes me want to try more products, even at that price point. Yeah, I mean, I'm so enamored by this. The next time I have the money available, I want to try the double barrel whiskey, and I hope to find the 10-year-old bourbon at some point too. Because this one really is that impressive, in my opinion. There you go. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, whiskey evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker. Prefer wisdom, and gosh, that's delicious. Absolutely delicious. All around good guy. Cheers, y'all.